What if the secret to going further wasn't moving faster, but slowing down? Imagine a journey that spans 18 months, across 15 countries, with only a single intention: to immerse, to absorb, to truly live inside the places most travelers only glimpse in passing. This isn't a sprint through continents or an endless quest to check off bucket list items. It's a deliberate, mindful odyssey, one that leads not just to new destinations, but to unexpected discoveries that no guidebook could ever promise. Slow travel isn't about racing from one landmark to the next or collecting souvenirs and selfies like trophies. It's about stepping off the treadmill of modern life and letting each moment, each encounter, each landscape sink in. When you commit to this pace, you don't just visit places, you become part of them. The rhythm of your days shifts from the mechanical to the organic, from the planned to the lived. But what actually happens to you, inside and out, when you surrender to the journey and let time expand? The answers, after months of moving intentionally, often alone, are surprising, and for many, utterly life-altering. First, time itself transforms. With no pressing appointments or rigid itineraries, days begin to stretch out. Moments deepen. The pressure to see it all fades, replaced by the richness of simply being. You might find yourself watching the sun slowly rise over the Mekong, or lingering for hours over a single cup of coffee in a Lisbon alleyway. Suddenly, you're not chasing time, you're absorbing it. The calendar becomes irrelevant. What matters are the sunrises you witness, the stories you hear, and the small rituals that start to anchor your days. Next, human connections take on a new dimension. When you stay in one place for more than a few days, encounters with locals move beyond transactions. Shopkeepers remember your name. Neighbors greet you on the street. You get invited into homes, sometimes for a meal, sometimes to celebrate a wedding, or to mourn at a funeral. Strangers become friends, and the barriers that usually keep travelers at the surface begin to fall away. Where you were once an outsider peering in, you're now part of the fabric of daily life. The challenge of language, too, becomes something different. With time, you stop thinking of foreign words as obstacles and start using them as bridges. You don't just survive in a new language, you begin to feel in it. Miscommunications that once frustrated you now turn into moments of laughter and learning. Fluency becomes less about perfect grammar and more about the willingness to connect. Locals appreciate your effort, and the doors to deeper understanding swing open. As you roam, your sense of home begins to shift. Home is no longer a fixed building, but a feeling, a sense of belonging that can be found in the warmth of shared soup, the familiar smell of a bustling street market, or the quiet hush of a mountain village at dusk. You realize that home isn't a place at all. It's the people, the routines, the comfort you find in unlikely corners of the world. Living out of a backpack, you discover the power of minimalism. You learn to let go of what doesn't serve you, to carry only what is essential. Each item you own becomes significant. Each decision to acquire something new is weighed carefully. What you shed in possessions, you gain in freedom and clarity. The less you carry, the lighter you feel, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Your senses, too, begin to recalibrate. With each passing day, you notice more. The way shadows dance across ancient stone walls, the subtle shifts in dialect from one region to the next, the distinct taste of bread that changes every 100 miles. The world no longer rushes past in a blur. It unfolds gradually, inviting you to experience it with fresh eyes, open ears, and a curious palate. There are moments of solitude, some peaceful, some challenging. With fewer distractions, your thoughts become louder. You confront fears, habits, and desires that were easy to ignore in the busyness of everyday life. The road becomes a mirror, reflecting your true self back at you. And instead of running from discomfort, you learn to sit with it, to understand it, and, eventually, to grow from it. Of course, not everything goes according to plan. Trains are delayed, hosts cancel at the last minute, you sometimes end up in the wrong city altogether. But it's in these unplanned detours that the magic happens. You stumble upon hidden festivals, meet artists whose work changes your perspective, or adopt new philosophies that forever alter your path. Plans fail, but serendipity steps in with gifts you never expected. Slow travel teaches you to see, not just look. You stop collecting moments for social media and start living inside them. A street corner, a conversation with a stranger, the thrill of a thunderstorm overhead. Life is no longer a series of snapshots, but a vivid, ongoing experience where nothing is wasted. Experts have begun to take notice. Travel psychologist Dr. Elena Marquez explains that slow travel can rewire the brain. She says, it reduces stress, enhances emotional regulation, and increases empathy. It's not just cultural, it's neurological transformation. Cultural anthropologist Marco Lenz adds, when you spend time embedded in a place, you stop observing a culture and start being shaped by it. That's when you stop being a traveler and become part of the story. But perhaps the most profound transformation isn't just emotional or intellectual. After months of slow travel, scientists have begun to observe measurable changes in the brain itself, shifts in neural pathways that suggest the act of slowing down and engaging deeply with new environments can have lasting, even permanent, biological effects. The result is a mind that is more adaptable, more open, and more resilient. 18 months, 15 countries, and a world of difference. What started as a journey outward becomes a journey inward. Distance takes a back seat to depth. The greatest souvenir isn't a photograph or a trinket, but a renewed understanding of what it means to live, to connect, and to belong. Because when you stop racing through life, the world doesn't pass you by. It begins to move through you, leaving you changed in ways you never thought possible. If you're ready to discover more untold stories from the road and to see what happens when travel becomes a tool for transformation rather than a race for likes, stay tuned. The real journey is just beginning.